I'm Jules.
And I'm Jason.
And
we doing
Filmographies.
Oh, you turkey neck.
We talking Corrina.
Mm-hmm.
Ray Liotta's 10th. Well, fuck. It's not even his 10th movie because he's got that fucking Crazy Times we can't find.
It's our 10th Ray Liotta movie.
Thank you. Yes, our 10th Ray Liotta movie. 1994's Corrina with Whoopie Goldberg, Tina Majorino from Napoleon Dynamite and that Slappy the Seal movie.
Mm-hmm. And also Waterworld.
Oh, she's in there?
Yeah.
As a kid?
Fresh off of this. She's also in Big Love and Bones and a couple of other things.
Oh, she is in Bones, yeah.
When I saw Napoleon Dynamite, it immediately clicked in my head, but I was like, damn, really? How old was she?
10 years after this movie. She's 37 now.
155 minutes?
It is a half hour too long, this movie.
You know, honestly, I didn't check the time until we paused it, and there was only 12 minutes left in the movie. I assume 5 of which was actual movie and the rest was credits. I was like, oh, damn. The whole time I'm thinking to myself, like, boy, I wonder how this movie's going to end.
Oh, wait, you got some facts. You don't want the synopses yet?
No, go for it.
In 1959, a widower hires a kindly housekeeper/nanny to care for a 7-year-old daughter. I gotta sneeze again. Phew. Fuck. I think it's that candle.
You should say your name every time you sneeze.
Yeah, fuck.
Ah, Schubert.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it'd be great.
I'll try.
The tagline for this movie is, a story as full of surprises as the human heart. Which I don't think is... The movie's not really full of surprises.
One surprise?
I guess.
Love?
I mean, I don't... The box office, the budget that I had seen was $22 million. The overall total gross was $20 million. So this one lost some money.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think it did anything. I remember the box, like at the video store, and be like, well, I don't want to watch that.
You know, I never was a fan of Whoopi Goldberg, and I never sought out movies that were hers. I saw Sister Act. I thought that was fine.
Oh, I liked Sister Act a lot.
I never saw Jumping Jack Flash. I don't even know what it's about. Is she a cop? You know what I mean? They probably use that Rolling Stone song.
I feel like I've seen that in Fatal Beauty when they started playing them on TNT a lot.
This was written and directed by Jesse Nelson.
It's a tale of her youth.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think I'm growing up after her mom died.
In the 50s?
Yeah. Because
I'm thinking now, like, the music should have really cemented when it was, but I didn't pay any attention to it.
Very 50s cars.
Feels like it. She wrote and directed I Am Sam.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
She wrote the story of us.
It's Michelle Pfeiffer and Bruce Willis?
Interestingly enough, she wrote the jingle, the Jell-O pudding jingle in this movie.
Okay.
For them.
It's pretty good.
I don't think it's the real jingle.
No.
It's good though. Fuck yeah.
Who says you shouldn't have instant pudding? Ba-dum-bum.
That was another interesting aspect of this movie. I liked this movie.
It's pretty good.
It's another one like Dominic and Eugene. I dreaded going in, and it really turned me around.
I was not looking forward to it at all. Within a couple of minutes, I was very pumped because I said, oh, it's Tender Liotta again. He's a loving, nice father going through a hard time.
Yeah, he's almost the dad from Men and Women 2.
Yeah.
If his wife died instead of was a drunk.
Yeah.
It's a little clunky in some of its staging and execution, earlier more so than later, but all around, yeah, I thought this is a well-rounded film.
Yeah, it's not super cliche. I don't know. There was a depth to the situations where they didn't just feel like generic punchline situations.
Did you read any reviews for it?
No.
I didn't either. It's sitting at a 37 on Rotten Tomatoes.
I know, I was quite worried about that. Well, Roger Ebert described it as too bleak. But I was like, specifically, I'm thinking of him interviewing the nannies that are going to come work there. And I felt like that could have been played a lot dumber. And I felt like they were all somewhat interesting and seemed like real people instead of caricatures. I
applaud the movie for there's a slight taste of racism later on, but I applaud the movie for not trying to do anything more than it could.
No, it didn't get super ugly. It wasn't a huge part where they're overcoming it.
Exactly.
I thought it was going to be a problem.
It was incredibly natural.
Black lady, white neighborhood, 50s. This is going to be a problem. Yeah,
it's just focus on these people. There's that one moment at the restaurant, but then that comes back around with the kids, who were all fantastic. Especially, what's her name? Tina? Majorino? Majorino?
I think it's Majorino, but I don't know.
She's great, but it's so natural. It isn't, because there was then after this, there was a trailer for a Jim Belushi movie where he's got a young girl in it.
Curly Sue?
Curly Sue.
Yeah, I've seen that.
It's just like hamming it up. It's a production.
Curly Sue's a bummer.
This girl in here, it felt like they just secretly were filming a kid. And the other kids too, they were doing a little bit of business. And it felt very much like a Little Rascals.
Yeah.
Which I think the boy in the coon hat is actually in the contemporary Little Rascals movie. Looks super familiar, but boy, I didn't recognize him in anything after that. So there's a couple of people in here. It was nice seeing Larry Miller. It's been a little while now that he's 70 or whatever. Probably not that old.
He's got that voice. I can't do a Larry Miller impression.
And I was expecting him to be that typical conniving
Yeah, I thought he was going to be a real fucker.
I thought he was going to be a problem.
They set him up to be a problem.
But then they have a nice little moment where they're working together, spinning in chairs.
There's not a lot of plot devices in this movie.
No.
A lesser movie would be plot device after plot device they have to overcome and deal with. Not this one.
And honestly, it's sort of expertly designed in a way, because you have your initial issue of the grieving family and the kid doesn't speak. And Whoopi Goldberg, just through natural interaction, they kind of quickly overcome that. She speaks, right? And through their bond, that then turns Ray Liotta around and draws him in, and I think it strengthens his bond with the child.
This is the way.
It also, in here, Larry Miller, he was on an episode of Seinfeld. He was the doorman.
Because I'm the uneducated doorman.
Patrika Darbo, she was the waitress. Remember, she jumped into the back of the car?
Oh, yeah. She's in a million things.
She's also in Seinfeld.
Yeah.
She's in the episode where George quits and then comes back to work like nothing happened.
And she doesn't like George.
And she goes,
I thought you quit.
Yeah.
What, quit? Who quit?
But yeah, she's been in a million things. Her character's name is Car Hop.
She's a car hop.
Actually, when she jumps to the back, did you notice that she's suddenly holding a bottle?
No.
She's got her notebook and her pen, and then when she gets into the back, she's got a green bottle.
Is she having a Sprite?
Maybe. Brent Spiner was one of the ad guys.
Yeah, for like a minute.
Yeah.
He's barely in it.
He's eating or something at one point. Larry Miller's like, elbows him like, hey, pay attention. He's Data, obviously.
I was very fond of Kirk, but of course I liked myself best.
Yeah.
Whoopi Goldberg and him both are on Star Trek.
And he's a scientist in Independence Day.
We also have, now I couldn't quite place him, but he's so familiar, Louis Mustillo?
The suitor?
No, he's the male nanny who says, kids just flock to me.
Yeah, that's great.
That guy just, so familiar.
Kids do not flock to you, sir.
No, although he does end up getting the job, which I had to rewind because I'm like, oh, is that him? And then I rewound because he mentions he hired a man, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
He's in over his head.
He's in Married to the Mob, Night Court, but he was also on Seinfeld. Lynn Shay, who was credited as repeat nanny. I don't know what that means. I didn't visually recognize her. She plays the older version of the redhead in the original Ouija.
Okay. I mean, I've seen Lynn Shay a million times. She's the disgusting landlady in Kingpin.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
She's also in The Running Man and Pump Up the Volume. And then Don Ameche, who plays the dad.
What's his fucking deal? Is he deaf in this movie? He's dying? He doesn't communicate.
He's wearing earbuds.
Rubbing faces and...
He eventually warms up when they're doing that one cookout scene where it's like everybody's tripping on acid or something. But he most notably was in Cocoon and the sequel. He was also in Coming to America.
Did he die not long after this movie? I feel like he...
Literally, like right after he filmed his scenes.
Okay.
You're my boy, Blue!
He was also most notably in Coming to America and Trading Places, where he played Mortimer.
Yeah, one of the two old guys taking the bets on Dan Aykroyd's character.
Yep, and then they're bums in Coming to America. And he gives them like a bag full of money, and they're like, Mortimer!
We're back.
So he died, shortly after filming his scenes for this movie. KT Stevens, I couldn't place who she was in the movie. She died shortly after this movie.
Is she the mom? Is the mom in this? Is the grandma in this the lady from Brooklyn Bridge?
No.
No.
And then two other people died, Sue Carlton and Junie Ellis. It's their final films. So I'm assuming one of them maybe was the mom, and then two of them were just some ladies at the funeral or whatever.
Who's the suitor that's after Whoopi Goldberg? He's in lots of stuff.
Oh, yeah. You know, honestly, his name didn't pop up. I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't catch that. I mean, he's in like everything. Not everything, but I mean, he's not even popping up. There he is. Stephen Williams. He's in The Shy, 21 Jump. I bet he was the chief on 21 Jump Street. He's in Jason Goes to Hell, Cooley High.
Oh, God. Is he the guy that eats the heart in Jason Goes to Hell?
Probably.
The autopsy guy? Fuck, that movie sucks.
Yeah, probably, man.
That's Richard Gant.
Good guy. Good in this movie.
He's barely in it, but yes.
Let's see here. You had mentioned her eyebrows.
Yeah, I thought somebody mentioned this to me a long time ago, that Whoopi Goldberg does not have eyebrows.
When you told that to me, I'm like, what is this? Oh, does she paint them on? And I pull up a picture, and I'm like, oh, no, she doesn't.
No. I think Joel or Ben mentioned it.
I'd never noticed.
But this is the first time I've watched a Whoopi Goldberg thing since the eyebrow situation came up.
Yeah.
Sure enough, no fucking brows.
And not only did I never notice it, it's never been mentioned. And I actually stumbled upon an article that they were like, you probably never noticed. But apparently when she was young, she got like, I don't know if they were like ingrown hair bumps, but like little bumps around her eyebrows. She said it's like what men get when they shave. So I'm not sure if that's just an ingrown hair or whatever.
Yeah.
So her mom shaved her eyebrows and they went away. And then she just continued to do it.
Wow.
And
you
she
need
said,
those.
I literally like never remember myself having them. So I don't miss them. It's weird. Cause then there were pictures of where people put them on her.
Yeah.
And she looks like a totally different person.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta.
Now some of them were comedic. So obviously that changes the dynamic.
I would like to see a picture of Whoopi Goldberg with eyebrows.
It's weird.
Dude, you need them so they keep the sweat out of your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, can you imagine the sting of it just going straight into your eyeballs off your forehead? Good for you, Whoopi. You don't seem to care.
And then, of course, Tina and Whoopi would later team up in 1999's Alice in Wonderland.
What is that for a TV network?
I have no idea.
She's a cute kid.
Yeah.
I like her.
It's one of those movies that it kind of is very loose in its structure. It's just people hanging out.
Yeah, it's not marching along hitting plot points.
No, Ray Liotta, it starts at the funeral. We're seeing everybody's feet. I think one character is even credited as woman in stockings or in high heels. And the daughter is hiding under the table. The grandfather kind of comes down. Something was dropped and he sees her. And it's really, I thought this was weird when he's touching her face.
It's super weird.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
But I guess that's...
I think that's maybe not being able to hear and communicating through touch.
Maybe.
Or just he's old.
Because he talks later, sort of. But then he does the violin thing, which makes it seem like he's blind.
I did not like it when he was touching her face.
It was, yeah. Maybe it's just a thing of the era. Maybe people were more affectionate.
Are they like, where are Ray Liotta's family? Are they Yiddish? Are they Jewish people?
I thought they were Polish.
Okay.
The song that the daughter keeps trying to play on the piano, I believe is Finnish.
Okay.
His parents are very Jewish, I think, but they don't sit Shiva.
No, that seems like
but maybe because the wife and him are agnostic or atheist. So perhaps, yeah, they wouldn't have had a religious funeral. But was his sister also the woman at the boss's party, or was that a different lady? She like shows him around because Larry Miller's like, the boss is having a party. You gotta come.
Yeah.
And then he's there and this woman's showing him around and Callie's like, wasn't that his sister?
I don't remember his sister at all, but I remember that lady like trying to pair him up with that other lady.
Yeah, that lady at the party. Yeah. His sister was at the beginning I think it was his sister at the funeral because she gets into the car with his parents, I believe. And she said, I love you or something, So the wife's died somehow. I don't think we know.
Car accident?
Was it? For a split second there, I thought suicide.
I think it was a car accident. Didn't the daughter she didn't get to say goodbye to her, so it wasn't like a illness.
But he has two cars, his wife's car and his car. And his wife's car is pristine until Goldberg takes it out. So maybe she was hit by a car?
Maybe somebody stabbed her in the head at a car hop did
it. So she's dead anyways. And so the daughter isn't talking, and he's looking to get a nanny because he's a big-time ad man. So we do a little montage of him seeing applicants. It's like a strict old woman, a real weird, not weird, but the Luis Castillo character, he's not what he seems to be. Kids flock to me. He's like super deadpan.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like anybody would be excited to run to him.
Also doesn't feel like the kind of era where you would hire him.
A manny?
A man, yeah. And then we see...
the girl that looks like Ileana Douglas, kind of.
Yeah, who's like super sexual.
I feel like Sophia Loren in Houseboat when she meets the widowed Cary Grant and selflessly gives herself to his family.
But wants to sing.
Do we see her a second time in a different dress, singing? We see them, I think her again, but in a different suit in a different day, and she's singing.
Won't you come home, Bill Bailey?
In Joan Cusack. So he hires Joan Cusack. And immediately off the bat, she's psychotic. She's like tilting her head and looking at the girl really weird and
excited about the liquor collection over the stove,
which she pours into her OJ. Ray Liotta comes home. She's got a martini waiting for him. And he's not put off by the fact that she's there when he's going to bed, because clearly he would have to know that she's still in the house. And she climbs in the bed with him, starts spooning on him.
What are you doing?
I'm doing everything a wife does. Shouldn't I be getting everything a wife gets?
She's drunk.
Yeah. The daughter spit milk in her face.
Yeah, because she's made a comment.
I cook better than your mom.
Yeah.
It's like,
what the fuck are you doing?
So he fires her.
You're fired!
Here's the thing. On his bed, which we see a lot of, there's a light sometimes, but not other times, like built into the headboard.
I didn't know.
It's almost like a stained glass light. It seems like you would bash your head on it every time you get into bed and out of it. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. So Whoopi Goldberg shows up one day. She gets off the bus smoking a square. She's got jazz in her step, and she doesn't have any references. She went to college, and that's pretty much it. And Ray Liotta's just like,
I'm afraid you'll have to come up with something better than that.
She's got a weird vibe. Doesn't she accidentally break something right away?
Knocks over it. Yeah. They break a lot of shit in this movie.
Yeah.
But he notices when she leaves that she talks to the kid on the bike, again, the daughter, and peels a orange from their tree, walks off. She just takes one, walks off, then turns around and throws it at the daughter to catch, because she saw the daughter trying to get one but couldn't. She turns around, starts walking away.
She has an orange also.
She does.
I didn't see her get two.
No, and the daughter honks her horn at her.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, yeah. And Ray Liotta sees that, and he's like, well, maybe. And so he hires her and lets her take the wife's car.
Because they don't have any food.
Go shopping, right. And so she takes her to like a drive-in restaurant.
That's where they meet the car hop.
Car hop, yep. And she's like, what do you want for breakfast? And
she's working on a sign language type of thing where you rub your nose.
Touch your nose.
Hear what you want.
Yep. And the woman is now in the back because she goes, look, you work all day. Just come hang out with us.
Why would she? She wouldn't do that. She's got work to do.
And not only that, she like clambers into the back.
And people were honking like they wanted her to come serve them.
And she goes,
I'll be right there!
But no, she'll be in this car for 5
minutes. And now she's magically holding a bottle. And so she's like, do you want this nasty ass, good for you breakfast or this gooey pancake concoction? And so the daughter starts touching her face and they're like, oh, the car hop grabs Whoopi Goldberg's arm, like, and then she touches her nose. So, there's a breakthrough.
Yeah.
And they just do stuff, right?
Just hang out.
From here on out,
she talks to her about her mom a little bit, starts talking about God.
Right. She's like, your mom's in heaven. And Ray Liotta pulls her aside and he goes, we don't believe in that shit. I would appreciate it if you didn't say those things. All right. His name is Manfred. They call him Manny. Did you catch that?
I did not.
Yeah. His mom keeps calling him Manfred.
That's a horrible name.
I'm like, what did you want him to be, a butler? It's a butler name.
I think you're thinking of Alfred.
Any Freds.
Okay.
Bill Fred.
John Fred.
Ted Fred. Yeah.
Ted Fred. That's a good one.
Pretty much then it's just she's making the bed one day. Did you notice the hand?
What do you mean?
You didn't. The shot is framed in a way that the bed is in the center. Whoopi Goldberg's on our right. She's, billowing out a sheet like you do to sort of have it drape over the bed. And on the left side of the screen, there is a white person hand from the forearm up. As soon as she does that, it does something like maybe it's pulling a wire or something to make it. I don't know.
Oh, it's not supposed to be Whoopi's hand, and like they just had to stand and go and didn't.
No, because you see Whoopi holding it from kneecap to head.
I did not see this ghost hand.
I saw it, and I'm like, what? And I rewound it, and Callie's like, oh yeah. And I rewound it a third time just to see, because it does a weird thing.
I'm going to have to do a screen capture of this.
So then the daughter starts talking. My mommy used to sleep here, and
it's quite sad.
It's touching and whatever. So now they got a bond going. Ray Liotta notices that they have a bond going, so he's kind of more cool. He's doing his ad thing. He's trying to come up with a jingle for Mr. Potato Head.
Can't rhyme.
Which back then was literally just a potato that you stuck the body parts into. Mm-hmm. And like a big bop 'em, sock 'em sort of thing. They're punching later. And yeah, he just can't get past.
Not going great at work. People are unimpressed with him.
Larry Miller is his partner, maybe his boss?
I think his partner.
It seems like it. Because he's like, if you don't do it, they're going to yell at me, and then I got to yell at you. And
maybe he is like a boss. Maybe he's the next level up. I don't know.
Hard to tell, you know. But she keeps playing the piano. Whoopi Goldberg sits down and knows the song. She takes her to school where she gets picked on a little bit. So she's like, I don't want to go back. And Whoopi's like, okay, I'm calling just today. I got to go clean this old white lady's house because I do that too. I think we see Whoopi's family at some point throughout. She lives with her sister, who's got a husband and 3 kids. I mean, it's really just them developing a relationship.
So she cleans the old white lady's house.
Mm-hmm. She takes her with her.
The girl comes in. What's her fucking name?
Molly.
Molly comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Hangs out with her. They're having a good time.
Yeah.
And then after that, they go hang out with Whoopi's family?
Right.
Is that where she takes the nap?
With her everywhere. Yeah, she takes the nap. Whoopi's sister is like, Whoopi Goldberg wants to write, specifically liner notes on the back of jazz records and blues records.
Eventually she submits one and gets
She's
turned
waiting
down.
for it. Yeah. Her sister is like, why are you coming home late? You know, are they paying you overtime or just white people taking advantage of you? It's real racist. I don't like it.
And it was a legit situation where the daughter Molly was having a meltdown, right? Wasn't she really upset about something? That's when she's like, yeah, I'm mad your mom's dead too. And she starts punching that bop-em thing.
Yeah. I mean, earlier in the movie, she sees Ray Liotta smoking and then the Surgeon General's like, that kills men. And so she starts
hiding Whoopi and Ray's cigarettes.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny. They eventually start putting them in the Q-tip box.
Yeah. Well, and they seem suspicious of the other one that they're taking each other's cigarettes and they don't know that Molly's stealing them.
Where are my cigarettes?
I just put a carton in there this week.
That's funny, I don't see them.
Well, I can't even offer you one of mine, since you've taken to smoking them too.
And what is that supposed to mean?
It means if you're gonna smoke my cigarettes, I'd appreciate you telling me.
Fine, if you're gonna smoke my cigarettes, I'd appreciate it if you told me.
And I think at one point, Whoopi Goldberg says, well, my husband went out to get cigarettes and never came back.
Did he die or
I think he died?
Yeah.
Corrina's husband went out for a pack of cigarettes and died.
And
she doesn't have kids?
No. Much like eyebrows.
No kids, no eyebrows.
Yeah.
Lots of sass.
And I think that sticks with Molly as well. It's like a couple of little things here and there that she sort of becomes increasingly more agitated and afraid that her dad's going to suddenly die or leave her. Earlier in the movie, she's confused enough where she thinks the mother is actually just gone.
Yeah, that's really sad when he's like, my wife's in the bath.
Yeah.
And the daughter runs in there and she's not there. It's like, she's dead.
Mm-hmm.
How old? I think she's like 7, 8.
Yeah, I mean, she's old enough to be in elementary school.
Old enough to understand your mom's dead, not in that bathroom.
So she's keeping her out of school for quite a while. She calls in and says that she's sick. Ray Liotta at one point goes to his boss's party in the hills. And that's when the boss's wife, I believe, sets him up with whatever that lady's name is.
That lady sucks, too. Like, why?
Her husband's dead?
I'm not finding her especially attractive. Really.
She's fine, but she's just trying way too hard.
Yeah.
It's uncouth and unbecoming.
I don't think I've ever had such good guacamole.
Really? Well, you haven't tasted mine.
Even her kids are just like, fuck this lady.
Yeah. So at first, I'm like, who is this lady that she isn't married? And then when Ray gives her a ride home, that's when we discover she has 2 kids. And either the husband vamoosed and was like, good luck, or died. It's hard to say because she doesn't really seem to give a shit either way. She just wants to bone down on Ray, capture him.
Gotcha, bitch.
He's a good looking dude.
Yeah, he's good looking in here. I don't want to disparage it, but it feels like, he's rising. He does Goodfellas. I don't know what roles were coming at him at this point, but then he, does Article, and that's probably not a smash hit.
Yeah.
Wants to do No Escape,
yeah,
which was just
fucking
by all
terrible.
accounts a huge failure.
You want it? Come and get it!
And a terrible movie. I mean, it's one thing to just be a failure or bad, but make money like Transformers or whatever, but even worse when it sucks and it doesn't make money, loses money. So I'm kind of feeling like he's at a point in his career where they're just like, you've got to do a crowd pleaser, man.
I don't think so, dude. I think he's just picking roles.
You think?
I think he wanted to do the nice father thing again. I think he kind of has almost like his selection of stuff. And
I guess
I'm going random.
I'm coming at it, I guess I don't know. And maybe he didn't want to be a movie star.
Random's not the right word, but yeah.
I'm coming at it like he's trying to be the top of the heap, got some heat, fizzles and then pulls a, family like a Turner and Hooch kind of.
Fuck, I don't get that vibe at all from him.
Okay.
I feel like he's avoiding typecasting at this exact moment. I don't think it fucking carries on much longer.
Yeah.
But I feel like, he's being a different guy in these movies.
I'd be curious why this movie didn't do well, because
it's a half hour too long.
Well, I don't know what the market was back then for movie lengths of this nature to know, but yeah, it probably could have been a little bit shorter, but there wasn't a moment where I personally was just like, oh God, or this is going on too long, or we've already seen this.
Man, I think once it hit the 90-minute mark, I was like, there's kind of a lot left of this movie.
I was a little worried just because I had no idea how it was going to end, other than them just being together, I guess. So she's trying to get in on Ray. She pops up later. At this point, this is when Ray and Corrina are starting to let whatever's happening happen. They're not necessarily developing it or pursuing it. It's just naturally occurring.
They like each other.
So much so that when they're having dinner, because she starts to eat with them. At first, she isn't about it and breaks something again. But even though her cooking apparently sucks all the time.
Yeah, what's up with that? Is she a bad cook, or is it too spicy for white people?
Well, the first one was too spicy, but then later on when she's got the mashed potatoes, she's like lifting up it in like one unit.
Yeah.
She's like, this is not good. And he goes, that's fine. So I don't know. She doesn't have a family. I don't know if she cooks at her sister's house, but it doesn't seem like housekeeping and child rearing was in her wheelhouse.
No, not at all, man.
Right? And so with a slip of the tongue, Ray Liotta to Molly goes, listen to your mother.
And listen, I don't want you filling up on these potato chips, because I know you want that fudge sundae after dinner, so please finish your milk.
I hate milk.
Listen to your mother.
And I think Corrina misses it too.
Yeah, neither of them.
But Molly picks up on it, and she is
smiling,
beaming. She's like, yes, I want this woman as my mother.
It's cute.
So there's that moment, where they're talking about how angry they are that her mother left. He's angry that his wife left. Homegirl's angry that her husband left or died. And they just start punching the bop 'em, sock 'em things, and it's cute.
Cathartic, yeah.
Yeah, it's real touching and natural.
Acknowledge your grief. Live in it. Don't fight it.
Mm-hmm. And she's having a time of her life. Whoopi Goldberg realizes that she probably needs to take her back to school, but the girl's like, I don't go to fucking school. What you talking about, Willis?
Okay, well, you gotta go tomorrow then. We'll stay home today.
Uh-huh. And they're in the pool, and they're having the time of their lives. They're singing and such. Oh, she helps Ray Liotta with the Jell-O jingle.
Mm-hmm.
And is that the same night as the birthday party? No. They have a birthday party for the daughter. I don't remember if it's after the jingle or not, but they have a good time coming up with this pudding jingle and wins over the guy for the most part. But then they're at a birthday party.
I think prior to this, he gave Whoopi Goldberg that smooch on the cheek, like
outside the house.
Wife, when he got her a gift, right, for helping him with the jingle.
That's right.
And the neighbor sees the peck.
He got
on the
her
cheek.
a record. It's a real, just like a goodbye moment, and
it's nice.
They stop like, huh? Go about your business. Yeah. The lady across the street next door sees it. I think that's after the party. Because the mom's like, you got this other nice lady. And because she's at the party. And the woman's singing.
By the light.
Don't you want this white lady?
Mm-hmm. What will they say? And Ray Liotta, oh no, this is after. Ray Liotta wins some contest thing. He's the new voice of something ad campaign or whatever.
We're looking at the winner of the new Mr. Bromide account.
Yeah.
And he's got champagne. No, he's got flowers for them. And that's when the way lady shows up with champagne. I heard you won the Mr.
Bromide
contest, whatever. We should celebrate. Oh, is this your girl? She says to Corrina.
Katrina, could you get us an ice bucket and 2 glasses?
And Ray's like, oh no, I'll do it, whatever. Why don't you take off? Why don't you get out of here? She says to her. And she's like, I'm gonna leave. And Ray Liotta doesn't really stick up for himself or her, just allows this to occur. And she goes home, and now she's watching TV with the guy from across the street who likes her, that her sister's trying to set her up with, and she's just not about.
Boy, I tell you, Louis could stand alone in the middle of the Sahara, singing selected excerpts from the Tunis telephone directory.
And Ray Liotta's at home with this lady, and he could care less. She's drunk. She's tripping. And the daughter's in the bedroom, like, calling the operator, like, call us, make sure my line's working. And she eventually calls Corrina, like, this lady's here, and I don't like it.
I don't like that shit. For sure, bro. I don't like that shit.
And she's like, I'm going to sing you to sleep or something. So Corrina falls asleep on the phone while her sister's talking to the guy on the couch about some TV show or record or something. And Ray Liotta apologizes to Corrina. That's when they kiss. He goes, look, I didn't want her to be here. I wanted you to be here, and I just fucked up. And kiss, boom, gotta go. And the neighbor sees it. The neighbor calls his mom. His mom comes over, like, why are you with this lady? But ultimately, the mom's like, you can't be with this black woman. People are going to talk. They go to that restaurant to celebrate, and Whoopi Goldberg gets up to go to the bathroom, and a fat white guy stops her, and he goes, hey, miss, my wife spilled something on her. Can you take care of this? You work here. And Ray Liotta gets up like,
what's the matter with you? You don't grab somebody like that. What's the matter? Does she look like a waiter or waitress to you?
I don't care whose waitress she is.
And then we hear somebody 80 yards.
Sir, come in with this kid. Look at that. Another
N-word lover, right?
Do they?
Yeah. That's where the daughter hears it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And so I'm like, there is some racism in here. Because it's the 50s.
Yeah.
Right?
It's no good.
She's driving a Cadillac, which they probably stop her. Where'd you steal this from? Beat her up, Why you got this white girl? Where'd you steal her from? Beat her up. Because she really does herself up. She makes her own dresses. And
I feel like being with the white girl actually probably would help a lot.
Maybe.
It's like you're an employee of a white family.
Mm-hmm.
Don't mess with the property.
And it gets to the point where his wife's car is now effectively Whoopi Goldberg's car. She crashes it first thing. But after the party, she runs out to get ice cream from the truck. And that's when she sees the boy from school, who then goes to the teacher and says, well, when is Molly coming back? Because he has a thing for her. It's sort of slightly established. Yeah. And the teacher's like, well, she's very sick, so she'll be back when she's better. At which point he's like, nah, I just saw her getting ice cream.
So today? She'll be back today?
Better check your facts, teacher. Give me that apple back. And so she calls Ray Liotta at work. What? My daughter's, what? What are you saying? Speak up. I can't hear you. Some guy's pouring wine while I'm trying to record an Emmy-nominated podcast.
Think about Emmys?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So he storms over to Corrina's house. Oh, I think slightly before this is when they're doing the choir.
Yeah.
And the daughter's in the choir at their church. And she turns to her friend and she kisses her and puts her arms around her and she goes, I'm an N-word lover.
With like so much love in her heart.
Just exuberant. She's fucking to the hilt.
Yeah.
And the girl turns to her like,
that's mean. Why would you say that?
And she goes, what? Well, you're just a honky.
You're not my friend anymore.
Yeah. She goes, you just call me a donkey. And the other girl goes, I called you a honky, you au-fait, white bread, such and such. And
then that little girl says, don't you talk to my friend that way.
Yeah, she's my best friend. And then they're friends again.
Yeah. That's fucking cute as hell.
They cure racism, man.
Man, they go through so much in 15 to 20 seconds.
All while a church choir is singing. And she is an adorable kid. They're all just so fucking precocious.
Very cute and natural kids.
Yeah. And I hate children.
Yeah. They're monsters.
Yeah. So he storms over to Corrina's house, bursts in. Where the fuck's my kid?
Fuck no. He's never disrespectful like that.
No. He's understandably upset.
He's appropriately upset. Yeah. She fucked up.
Yeah. It's one thing because for all he knows, she's just been not going to school.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the context. And Whoopi Goldberg says she ain't ready. She is not ready. I don't want you ever seeing her again. And you're fired.
Man, you make me feel like I'm really seeing you in slow motion. Like the world slowed down there.
I know.
That was good.
And he storms out, leaves the car.
Is that like from the Kids in the Hall thing where they pretend they're in slow motion to confuse the guy? Remember that old sketch?
That was Mr. Show. I think that was Mr. Show. What's I'm gonna put on this record? And it's super slow record. Maybe it is Kids in the Hall. I'm going to have to investigate that.
I'm confused now.
You don't look so good.
And so he leaves. And he leaves his wife's car there. So he goes home and... Is that when the mom's like... What turns him around? I forget. He just comes to his senses.
His dad dies.
His old man dies.
Fucks up his mom.
He's there. He makes him play the violin on his arm. And then the next moment he's dead. And they're doing more legs at funerals. The woman that wants Ray Liotta gets cake from the new nanny man, tells her kid, go give grandma a slice of cake. Did you catch that? Like she's in there. She ain't in there.
No.
And so they're outside and she presents him with, did she fix the vase that Whoopi Goldberg broke in the beginning? Or did she get him a replacement?
I think she's saying she's going to fix it.
Because she's got it. She's holding it like an infant. It's wrapped up. And he smashes it on the ground.
Because she's not listening to him. He's frustrated.
Yes.
It's interesting. It's a kind of explosive. Literally and figuratively.
Well, perhaps you need a little time.
And it's definitely enough to shock her to her senses, because she's like, I'm going to go.
He freaks out for 1 second, which is like, I think you can do that. He's not hitting her. No. He's not screaming in her face.
Because he even says, I like it better that way, or whatever.
Yeah.
And he apologizes, too, right before she leaves.
Yeah.
He says to her,
thanks for everything.
Which is nice.
She's got a really weird hat on. It's like wide brimmed, but there's like holes in the brim. So it's like a figure 8 or something.
I don't like this lady.
I don't either. She walks funny.
Get your white bread ass out of here.
You know, you fucking Ofe.
Honky as hell.
I said, bitch.
Hey, guys.
So he goes back, and he's not looking for forgiveness. He just wants to apologize.
I'm sorry. I didn't want the last words I said to you to be...
Sorry.
And she closes the door on him, and the movie ends.
I don't think that's the end of the movie.
No, she opens up the door, because he's outside talking to God, basically.
Oh, yeah. And
I don't normally do this.
Oh, my God, I brought Jesus to him.
When she comes out and she goes, who are you talking to? He goes, oh, I thought I'd try it. The sister seems to not be okay, but she's like, well, girl gonna do what girl gonna do. So Corrina brings him in.
Introduces him to the family.
And the husband turns around like, God damn, there's a white man in my house.
Guess who?
But Ray Liotta immediately goes in, hey, I'm Ray Liotta. Shakes his hand, and the guy goes, well, hello.
Yeah, I know. It was pretty.
Pull up a chair.
Cool.
Why get a chair for Ray Liotta? No. Further down.
No. It's right on there. Right on the corner.
Then he brings her home. And
5-minute love scene.
You know what I really am excited about? The idea that going forward, they're probably going to become the powerhouse jingle writing duo of their era.
Oh, that's nice.
They're going to crank out some fucking jams, man.
And they'll both be dead before the year 2000 hits. It's a nice movie.
I really liked it.
I tuned out those last 30 minutes a lot.
I don't dislike Whoopi Goldberg. I think she's great in here.
Yeah.
And
she's really good in this.
She's fantastic in this, but I don't know, man. Something about her.
I think it's probably the 20 years she spent doing daytime TV, right? I mean, I think that's what...
Yeah.
She maybe made some not great movies at the very end.
And then she dated Ted Danson for a while.
Yeah.
He did the blackface.
What a fucking terrible idea.
Ratings?
I think Liotta's like a solid 8 in this fucking thing. I like him a ton.
Boy, yeah, there's no part of this movie that he is not good in.
No. And it makes me feel like we were robbed of this type of character that he does so well. What do you rate Liotta on this movie?
I'll give him an 8.
8?
You know what? Fuck, I'm going to give him a 9.
What are you going to give Whoopi?
I'm going to give her a 9 as well. I'm going to give
her an 8.
I'm going to give everybody a 9.
What do you give the movie?
I'm going to give it an 8.
Wow, I'm going to give it a 7.
Yeah.
It would be an 8 if they cut a half hour out.
It's funny because I'll never watch it again.
No.
I doubt. Nor would I ever even probably think of it after this, except for when I think of this podcast, as I do so often fondly.
Or Liotta, just thinking about Liotta.
We'll see how the next run of Liottas go if we ever get to him.
Yeah, I think at some point we need to be like, you get to pick somebody we've already covered. Let's go into their next 10.
Because I think we're going to be going into at least 5 more movies that are going to be like, I don't remember this.
I want to see Turbulence with him and Lauren Holly. Liotta rocks.
Corrina. He does.
Next week, Jason pick, Daddy Longlegs.
Okay.
A Safdie Brothers movie.
Okay.
Several years before Good Time and Uncut Gems. And then I guess next week we announce the next actor?
Oh, because it's the end of Liotta. Yeah. Liotta. I'm combining them.
All right. Well, Instagram,
yeah.
Facebook, YouTube.
Gmail.
We doing filmographies.
Yeah.
Twitter, do filmographies.
Yep.
You can call the phone.
Yeah. We got a hotline.
763-634-1897.
These went quick.
Yeah, I mean, almost every... The only movie that was not good was No Escape. Everything else was a delight.
Or interesting.
Yeah.
As in The Lonely Lady.
Yeah.
Not good, but boy, was it an interesting movie.
Yeah.
I feel like that's an unsung gem that, like, the bashing community has missed out on.
Crazy. What do you mean the bashing community?
You know, these guys that just watch movies and bash them. Oh, they're so bad. The worst movie ever is The Room, am I right? You know, those kind of guys.
Yeah.
It's like, chill out.
All right, guys, I'm going to go have a cigarette, and Jules is wearing a bathrobe.
Yeah.
Good night.
I'm ready for bed. We Doing Filmographies is proud to be a part of the Now Playing Network. Find other great podcasts at nowplayingnetwork.net, like Tracks of the Damned, where host Patrick Ripley goes full commentary mode on a bucket of horror movies. Tracks of the Damned at nowplayingnetwork.net.